Hello and welcome to the Autocar show. Is it a hatch? Not really, because it's got a boot. Is it a saloon? Well, not quite, because it looks like a hatch. Well, this is Mahindra's take on the sub 4 meter. Now, we've seen a lot of sub 4 meter saloons where the boot is added on. This one is quite different. Let's take a closer look at the Vibe. Now, we've seen regular sub 4 meters like the Swift Desire and the Amaze where a boot is integrated into the hatch platform. But the Vibe is quite different. There's no tailgate as you saw, but the area below the rear windscreen opens to reveal a 330-litre boot. However, loading things into it will not be easy as the opening is quite small. Apart from this, the Vibe looks quite the hatch. The rear is steeply raked with the tail lamps mounted on either side of the glass area. It also has a large boot which is broken by chrome garnish with the Mahindra logo, a dual-tone bumper and a crease line that runs through to the sides of the car. From the front, the Vibe could very well be the Verito. It has the same boxy shape with the only difference being a carbon-finished front grille. On the inside too, it's exactly the same as the Verito. The dashboard is identical with the dual-tone colors, the 2-din music system with the USB and aux ports, and the AC controls lying below it. The steering, however, did not have height adjust and neither did the seat, which could make it a little difficult for taller people. The Vibe will be offered in 3 variants, with the top end getting the music system, the electric outside rear view mirrors, alloy wheels, body-colored moldings, fog lamps, airbags, ABS and EBD. Under the hood, the Vibe is also powered by the same 1.5-litre Renault diesel from the Verito. Power and torque figures also remain identical. There is no petrol as M&M did not have a 1200cc motor that would help them avail of the excise benefits. For a 65 bhp engine, the Vibe feels surprisingly good. I'm going to slip the car into third, come down to about, let's bring it down quite low, 1000 RPM, put my foot down, and it still gets a move on. So very drivable engine, it's going to be easy in city traffic. Although when I have the open track like this in a straight stretch of road, I realized it doesn't really have a top end. However, you can cruise at about 120 quite comfortably. So very drivable in city traffic. This one is going to be really easy. Although if you find a straight stretch of road, you'll realize that the top end, not really great, but it still cruises quite comfortably. This engine is not the kind that you want to push to the red line. It encourages you to upshift early with the power dying out at the top end of the rev band. It's a car for comfort driving, and the engine refinement adds to that. The cabin feels insulated to all other outside sounds as well for a car this size. The engine is mated to a 5-speed gearbox that's easy enough to use but feels a little notchy when compared to the Japanese competitors. On the go, we found that the cabin felt spacious and airy and the front seats were quite comfortable, although I would have liked a little more lumbar support. There's loads of storage areas, but the central console sits a little low, making the lower switches not so easy to access. There's also a very irritating reflection of the defogger vents in the center of the windscreen. But other than that, the front end visibility is good. The Mahindra track also gave us the opportunity to test the cornering abilities of the Vibe, and we came away pleasantly pleased. The grip of this car is good. It makes you feel confident, it just doesn't let go. It's quite nice. The Vibe grips the road really well, and the steering, though not razor sharp, was still quite good and felt well weighted. There's a considerable amount of slack at dead center, but overall, even at straight line high speeds, the Vibe felt sure-footed. Now, the test track was nowhere close to our crater-filled roads, but I still did try out the ride quality and the backseat experience. Backseat space is pretty good. Lots of legroom, lots of headroom. And what's nice is the width. You have these panels intruding into the seat space, but still 3 people is going to be comfortable because the seat is flat, the floorboard is pretty low, the transmission tunnel not too high. So the third person in the middle actually will feel like any of the other 2 passengers. And this pad on the door actually makes quite a nice armrest. I think this cabin will easily be the class leader in terms of space. Not only that, with the light colored interior and large glass areas, it feels very airy and open on the inside. Well, the track is really smooth over here, so I'm not able to tell you much about the ride quality. But with whatever the little bumps and undulations, you realize that this ride is going to be quite like the Verito, pliant, yet flat and composed. The top-end Vibe is reasonably well loaded, and Mahindra claim a figure of 20.8 kilometers per litre on the efficiency front. Personally, I quite like the quirky styling too, and I think that in that sense Mahindra have done a great job with what they had. It's quite different.